Let me ask you something. Have you ever been sitting across from her, the woman you love, and suddenly she looks into your eyes and asks, "Do you love me?" At that moment, your heart freezes. You smile, you hesitate, and in that silence, something deep inside you shifts. Why does that question feel so heavy? Why does it test not only your feelings, but your very sense of self? Stay with me till the end of this video, because once you understand the truth behind this question, you'll never look at love or women the same way again. And brother, I promise, this lesson can change your love life forever. Before we begin, hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Mysteries, and watch till the end, because what you'll hear today might just heal a part of your heart you didn't know was broken. 1. The question that isn't a question. Have you ever sat across from her? The woman you once thought you'd never lose. And suddenly she looks into your eyes and softly asks, "Do you love me?" It's strange, isn't it? You've said it before. You've shown it in every small gesture. The way you held her hand when she was tired. The way you stayed up just to make sure she was okay. And yet, she asks again. That moment feels harmless, but it's not. It's a mirror and a quiet test of something much deeper than words. You see, when a woman asks this, she's not searching for information. She's searching for security. In her mind, love isn't just a feeling, it's a sense of safety. And when she feels your distance, your quietness, your distraction, her mind begins to whisper, maybe he's slipping away. So that question, "Do you love me?" becomes her way of checking if her heart is still safe in your hands. It's not manipulation. It's fear disguised as curiosity. But here's the Stoic truth. When love becomes about validation, it stops being love. Because love that constantly needs to be proven turns into dependence. The Stoic philosophers taught us, if you seek peace in the opinion of others, you will always be at war with yourself. And brother, how many times have you felt that? How many times have you given everything, your time, your energy, your heart, just to make her feel secure, only to realize that no matter how much you gave, it was never enough? It's not your fault, because peace cannot be borrowed. It can only be built. A woman who constantly asks for reassurance is trying to fill a void that only she can heal. And if you keep trying to fill it for her, you'll lose yourself in the process. Think about your past love and the one that left you broken. You remember how you tried to hold on, how you thought if you just loved her harder, she'd stay, but she didn't. Because you weren't fighting for love, you were fighting for validation. The Stoic man learns this the hard way. He realizes that silence is sometimes a greater answer than words, because words can lie, but energy, presence, never does. So when she asks you, "Do you love me?" remember, you don't owe her constant reassurance. You owe her presence, honesty, and calmness. Because love isn't about saying "I love you" 1,000 times. It's about being the man who means it once and lives it every day. 2. The emotional trap. Let me take you back to the start. The time when everything felt like magic. Her smile felt like sunrise. Her laugh made your chest warm. And the way she said your name, it almost healed the old wounds inside you. You thought, this is love. But was it? Or was it just attachment disguised as love? You see, the line between the two is thinner than you think. In the beginning, love feels like freedom. Two souls dancing without chains. But slowly you start to need her. You wait for her texts. You crave her attention. And when she pulls away, you feel the world collapsing. That's not love, brother. That's dependency. A woman's psychology is built around emotional connection. She bonds deeply when she feels seen, heard, and protected. But here's where things twist. When you start making her the center of your peace, she senses it. And instead of feeling cherished, she feels pressure. Your need becomes her burden. The Stoics warned about this, that attachment is the root of suffering. Because when you start needing something that isn't in your control, a person, a feeling, a promise, you begin to lose power over your own peace. Think about your last heartbreak. You remember waking up and checking your phone hoping she'd text, right? You remember replaying memories in your head, the laughter, the good days, the plans, and you told yourself she was my everything. But that's the trap. She was never your everything. You made her your meaning. And when she left, you thought life lost meaning. But in truth, life was just forcing you to find yourself again. The Stoic way of love is not to love less. It's to love without losing yourself. It's to look at her and say, I choose you, not I need you. When you love from freedom, not fear, your love becomes magnetic. Because a woman doesn't truly want a man who needs her to breathe. She wants a man who can breathe even when she's gone. So next time you fall in love, remember, don't confuse attachment for devotion. Don't measure love by how afraid you are to lose her. Measure it by how peacefully you can love her without owning her. That's Stoic love. Deep, calm, unshakable. It's the kind of love that doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It simply is. And maybe, just maybe, that's the love your heart's been trying to learn all along. 3. The female need for emotional certainty. Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever noticed how one day she's warm and affectionate, and the next, she's distant, quiet, almost unreachable? You start wondering, what changed? Did I do something wrong? Brother, welcome to the emotional rhythm of the feminine mind. You see, while men seek logic, women seek certainty. Not certainty of facts, but of feelings. When a woman asks, "Do you still love me?" she's not testing your loyalty. She's testing her security. Her psychology runs on connection. It's how she feels safe in the world. But the Stoic man understands. Feelings are like weather. They change. They storm, they calm. If you chase every emotional cloud she throws at you, you'll drown in her storm instead of standing firm through it. Remember your last heartbreak? That one woman who made you feel alive, and then suddenly pulled away. You replayed her messages, her laughter, her promises. You asked yourself what happened to her love. But here's the truth you probably never realized. Her love didn't disappear. It just shifted, like water finding a new path. And that shift happened because her sense of emotional safety broke. A woman's mind constantly scans for signs of emotional distance. If your tone changes, if you're distracted, if your energy feels different, she feels it immediately. To her, silence isn't peace and it's danger. That's why she seeks emotional certainty. Not because she doubts you, but because she doubts her place in your world. The Stoic response? Don't panic. Don't chase, don't argue. Just stay present. When you stay calm during her emotional storms, you remind her, and through energy, not words, that love isn't a performance. It's a presence, Marcus Aurelius once wrote. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. That's the key to dealing with the emotional nature of women. Her feelings aren't your enemy, they're her language. But if you lose yourself trying to translate every word, you'll forget your own truth. When she feels your unshakable peace, something beautiful happens. Her emotional waves settle. Because women don't trust words. They trust vibration, so brother, if you're heartbroken right now, and she left because you changed, remember, what she was really saying is, I couldn't feel you anymore. The lesson? Don't lose yourself to prove your love. Find yourself and let her feel that peace. Because the calm man is the one she never forgets. The Stoic secret, love without need, let's go deeper. Think back to the moment when love felt effortless. When every text from her felt like sunlight and every hug felt like home. You thought it would last forever. But slowly it began to fade. You started needing her, not just wanting. But needing. Her attention became oxygen. Her silence became punishment. That's when love turned into dependency. The Stoics would tell you, anything you cannot live without owns you. And when you depend on someone else for your peace, you hand them your power. You see, true love isn't about needing someone to fill your emptiness. It's about sharing your completeness. A woman senses when you're whole, and she senses when you're lost. If she feels that you need her to stay sane, she'll subconsciously test that power. Not because she's cruel, but because the feminine instinct doesn't trust a man who can't stand alone. The more desperate you are to keep her, the more she feels the pressure, and the more she pulls away. It's a tragic loop you've probably lived before. Remember that ex? The one you couldn't stop thinking about after she left? You checked your phone, your socials, your memories. Everything reminded you of her. But ask yourself honestly, were you in love with her? Or with the version of yourself you were when she loved you? That's the painful truth. Sometimes we don't love people. We love the feeling of being loved. The Stoic secret is this: love fully but need nothing. Give deeply but expect nothing. Epictetus said, "He who is disturbed by loss has loved a thing which was not his own." That means love her, not as your possession but as your privilege. Appreciate every moment knowing it's temporary, because when you stop needing love to feel worthy, you finally experience love in its purest form, without fear, without control, without ego, when you can look at her and think, even if she leaves, I'll still be whole. That's when you've mastered Stoic love. because freedom is the highest expression of love. So, brother, if your heart is broken, don't beg for her back. Rebuild your peace. Because the man who no longer needs love is the man every woman ends up loving the most. The breakup test, when "do you love me?" becomes "why did you stop?" Let's go back to the moment it ended. She stood there and maybe silent, maybe crying, and she said the words that cracked something inside you. "You've changed." Or worse, "You don't love me like you used to." And you froze. Because how do you explain to someone that love didn't vanish and it just got tired of proving itself? That's when the question, "Do you love me?" transforms into a dagger. Why did you stop? You start replaying everything in your head. The late night texts, the laughter, the promises. You ask yourself, did I fail her? Did I stop loving her? But the truth is, sometimes love doesn't stop. It just outgrows the illusion that it needs to be constantly validated. A woman's psychology after love fades is complex. She's not always mourning you. She's mourning the feeling she once had when she was with you. And that's why her words hurt so much. Because when she says "you changed," what she means is, "I don't feel what I used to feel." And brother, that's not your fault. Because feelings, just like seasons, change. The Stoics taught that suffering begins when we cling to what's already leaving. You see, heartbreak is not the punishment for loving. It's the tuition fee of wisdom. You remember those nights after she left? The empty bed, the urge to check her profile, the silence that screamed louder than her voice ever did. You tried to distract yourself, but everything reminded you of her. Because love doesn't die fast, it fades slowly, like the sound of rain after a storm. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Don't run from the pain. Observe it. Don't drown in it. Understand it. You can't control whether she stays or goes, but you can control how you respond. When you stop chasing closure, peace starts chasing you. The breakup wasn't the end of your story. It was the start of your transformation. Because pain, if you let it, becomes your teacher. It burns away the illusions, the neediness, the desperation, until what's left is you. So when she says, "Why did you stop loving me?" understand this truth. You didn't stop loving her. You just stopped needing her to love yourself. And that's the test every man must pass. To lose love but not lose himself. 6. The Stoic way of responding. Now let's talk about the moment that defines everything. When she looks into your eyes and asks, "Do you love me?" What do you say? Most men panic. They rush to prove. They think love is a debate that must be won with emotion. But the Stoic man knows, and real love doesn't need defense. So instead of rushing to fill the silence, he breathes. He doesn't react. He responds. Because there's a difference. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. When she's upset, you don't mirror her chaos. You become her calm. When she doubts you, you don't argue. You stay grounded. And when she cries and says, "You don't care anymore," you don't shout to prove your heart. You let your consistency speak louder than any word. A woman's psychology is wired to test, not to destroy but to discover. She tests to see if your peace is real or fragile. She tests to see if you're the man you say you are, even when her emotions try to shake you. And that's why the Stoic man never plays emotional tug of war. He doesn't withdraw to punish her. He withdraws to center himself. He doesn't chase validation. He creates it from within. Imagine this. She's crying. She says, "You don't love me anymore." You could argue, defend, promise, or you could simply look into her eyes and say, "You'll feel my love in how I treat you, not in how I react." That one line holds power, because it shifts the conversation from words to presence. Remember that time your ex walked away because you didn't show enough emotion? You thought staying calm made you cold. But the truth is, Stoic calmness isn't detachment, and it's strength under fire. Women don't actually want drama, they want depth. They don't want endless reassurance. They want a man whose love doesn't vanish under pressure. When you learn to stay calm in the middle of her storm, you stop feeding her fears and start feeding her trust. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." So the next time she questions your love, don't explain. Show, not through words, but through your peace, your patience, your presence. Because the Stoic man doesn't convince, he embodies. And that kind of man never has to chase love. 7. The feminine mirror, how women reflect your inner chaos. Let me tell you something most men never realize. A woman doesn't always react to what you say. She reacts to what you feel. You can tell her everything's fine, but if deep down you're lost, Anxious and insecure, she'll feel it like a storm in the air before it rains. That's because the feminine is a mirror. She reflects your inner world back to you. Magnified, emotional, alive. Think about your past relationship. Remember how everything seemed perfect at first? She laughed at your jokes, she loved your energy. She felt safe in your presence. But then slowly, the fights began. The silence, the distance, the tears you didn't understand. You told yourself she changed. But what if she was simply reflecting the change within you? When a man loses his center, his peace, his purpose, his clarity, a woman feels that shift before he even speaks. She becomes restless, emotional, confused, not because she's weak, but because she's mirroring the storm inside you. It's like standing before water. Throw a stone, the reflection breaks. Stand still, the reflection calms. That's how the feminine works. Her emotions are waves. Yours must be the shore. If you remain grounded, she feels safe. But if you lose control, she loses direction. Now pause for a second. Think back to your breakup. Do you remember how chaotic it became near the end? How both of you said things you didn't mean? That chaos wasn't just between you, it was within you. And she reflected it. The Stoics taught that peace is power. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That includes love. That includes her. You cannot control how she feels, but you can control what you project. So when she's emotional, don't try to fix her. Fix your state. When she's distant, don't chase, center yourself. When she's confused, don't lecture, embody calmness. Because a woman will always match your emotional tone. And when you're stable, she feels safe enough to open, to soften, to love. She doesn't need a man who controls her. She needs a man who controls himself. That's the secret most men miss. The feminine isn't your opponent. She's your mirror. If you want peace in her, find peace in you. The Stoic love philosophy, freedom over fear. Let me ask you something. Have you ever loved someone so much that losing them felt like losing yourself? You couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think. Every notification made your heart race. Every silence killed you a little more inside. That, my friend, wasn't love. That was attachment. And attachment is love corrupted by fear. The Stoics saw love differently. To them, love was not ownership. It was appreciation, not control but acceptance. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your beloved, remember, they are mortal. Not yours to keep, only yours to cherish." At first, that sounds cold, but it's actually freedom. Because when you love someone out of fear, fear of losing them, fear of being alone, you stop being a lover and start being a prisoner. Your happiness becomes dependent on their mood, their reply, their validation, and the moment they pull away, your peace shatters. But the Stoic man loves differently. He loves with his heart open and his soul unattached. He gives everything but expects nothing. He enjoys the moment but isn't destroyed by its ending. That's freedom over fear. Think back to your last heartbreak. The pain you felt wasn't just from losing her. It was from losing the illusion that she completed you. You were never missing half, you were already whole. Love didn't make you complete. It simply reminded you of what you already are. The Stoic man doesn't avoid love. He just doesn't cling to it, because he understands. What's meant for him will stay through peace, not pressure. So when she leaves, he lets her go. Not because he doesn't care, but because he respects the nature of things. He knows love is like holding water. Grip too tight and it slips through your fingers. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop fearing loss, you start attracting love that lasts. Because true love can only grow where freedom exists. When you no longer need someone to complete you, you become the kind of man every woman feels safe loving. So remember this. Don't seek to own love. Seek to honor it. Don't fear the ending. Embrace the moment. Because love in its purest Stoic form isn't about forever. It's about freedom in now. And the man who loves with freedom never truly loses anything. Not even when it ends. Conclusion. In the end, brother, love will always test your peace. A woman will mirror your soul, challenge your ego, and touch your deepest wounds. But through all of it, remember what the Stoics taught. You don't control her, you control yourself. Every heartbreak, every silence, every "do you love me?" It's not meant to break you. It's meant to reveal you. Because love isn't about finding someone who completes you. It's about becoming so complete within yourself. That love becomes a choice, not a need. So when the next woman asks that question, don't answer with fear or with desperation. Answer with presence, with calm, with truth. And if silence is the wiser answer, Let silence speak for you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.